Hello, fellow adventurers. Welcome back to another episode of TypeScript Tips Saga. I'm your companion, Luke from Covalence, and I'm a content creator and instructor here, and we're going to be covering enums in TypeScript in this particular video. Enums, or enumerations, are a powerful feature that are used for setting up named constants in a more organized manner. You may have always had some kind of project where you might have a constant value that you might use capital snake case for, like tax underscore rate or something like that. By defining a set of named constants. So imagine you have multiple of those. If you're familiar with Redux, this is something where this could actually be useful. You have a set of named constants, which is an enumeration, and we can control how and when we want to deal with that set throughout our code in a consistent, readable, scalable, #meme manner. So in this episode, I'm going to dive into the basics of them, the basic syntax, and the usages of the numeric and string constants with a small example at the end. So as always, whether you're embarking on your TypeScript journey with me or you've been doing this for a while and just want some clarification, hopefully this video will be of some use. But before I dive into the nuances of enums in them, let me introduce you to another fantastic possible resource, the Covalence Community Membership. For $25 a month, you can unlock a wealth of coding resources, get access to supportive group in our Discord channel, including myself, exclusive invitations to coding events, professional assistance with your interviews and resumes, as well as some courses on front end, back end, which combined together make our full stack development course, and my personal standalone React course that I have made. So joining the community means you're no longer going to be alone on your journey. We're going to be here every step of the way, both here in the course and on YouTube. So don't feel like I'm going to be gating anything of my content behind a paywall. It's all going to be available here on YouTube, just like I've been doing for this entire year. So if it sounds like something you're interested in, check for a link to join in the description down below. Otherwise, let's say get back into enums, dog, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So like I had said, enums or enumerations are a specialized syntax in TypeScript. Oh, I should mention before I continue that, start up your own TS Code Sandbox. Use a link in the description down below to clone my repo, or go to Code Sandbox and start up your own TypeScript window to start if you just want to use your browser and not have to bother with VS Code and stuff. So back to what I was saying, enumerations or enums are a special construct that allow us to define a set of named constants, adding a greater degree of organization and structure to our code, blah, blah. That's the handbook definition. They're basically used as they serve as like a user-defined data type, proving very beneficial in scenarios where we have a fixed set of values which can assume a symbolic name. So again, variables, they're symbols that represent data. Enums are a set of symbols that can represent data in a controlled and scalable fashion. So for instance, let's make a classic enum that you'll see across many Reddit threads, Stack Overflow posts, blogs, and things like that. You'll see the classic example of direction if we're doing some kind of thing with our keyboard, a game, or something like that. We're going to have up, down, left, and right as our enum values here. So what we're looking at is an enum type, right? In this instance, we're going to have up, down, left, and right. And you're wondering, what are their values? Because it looks like you're using some crazy ES6 and TS shorthand, because it should be like up equals or up colon if you're using an object, right, Luke? Bear with me, I'll get into that in just a moment. But in this instance, enums come into play as a robust and intuitive system to manage and utilize these constants, up, down, left, and right. We've now defined a direction type, right? Representing 4 distinct values, up, down, left, and right. So by default, enums in TypeScript are number-based. So they're index number-based, by the way. So they follow an auto-incrementing behavior. So anyone coming from a SQL or database or some kind of relational database background, you probably are familiar with auto-incrementing values. That's exactly what we're doing here, except it starts at a 0th value. So that is, the first enum member is left uninitialized. It's assigned the number value of 0. So we can essentially think of this as a variable in this enum assigned with a value of 0, down being 1, left 2, right 3. We could even console log this output. I'm actually going to use the console log for once. A lot of the times I highlight it to use errors or something like that. We'll do direction.up. As you can see, this autocomplete syntax with IntelliSense is also empowered by our usage of the enum. So I'm not going to do all of them. Let's just go ahead and pick up, which we know is going to be 0, and our value of left, which should be console logging an output here, but I'm surprised it is not. Well, there it is. It recognizes that the values are there. I think it's just because I'm doing a compile here and not actually running node on the file. Yeah, that's what it is. This is my compiler window. It's not actually like my outputted window. I realized that the console log's not going to be of any use here. Hashtag professional. I knew what was happening the entire time. Who said I didn't? Yeah, so, even though it won't output any logs here, since this is just my compiling window for errors and help and things like that, we can still mouse over it, and it does recognize that these values are indeed what they should be, aka 0 and 2, right? 0, 1, and 2, right being 3, if I take a look at that. There we go. So these numeric values correspond to these variable keywords in this set, allowing us to consistently reference up, down, left, and right while giving our code the usage of the numbers of 0, 1, 2, and 3, right? So, the advantage of employing enums in coding are, well, kind of numerous for me to listen to this short video. They not only improve the readability of our code, this is very, very readable instead of saying, hey, the player is going in direction 0, the player is going in direction 2, the player is going in direction 1. That 0, 1, 2, 3 may be very important and integral in our code working, but being able to write the enum values of direction up, direction right, etc. are much clearer, right? It makes it easier to understand and debug, but also enhance maintainability. If our game all of a sudden had the ability to go in different diagonals and things like that, rather than having to recode a whole series and set of numbers, we can simply add them at the end of this enum by adding our diagonals, like I'd call it backslash for that like upper left diagonal or something like that. I don't know what I'd call it, but nevertheless, I can now come here and just simply add it to my enum, and I now have more scalable code, which is an important part about them as well, right? So grouped related constants represent a valuable instrument in our TypeScript toolkit for crafting more structure, organized, and understandable code. There's that hashtag meme again. So that's it. That is the simple example of what an enum is, and it also leads into the next topic of this video, which is numeric enums. We can see that even though I did not assign any kind of values to these directions, let's change up the example here. Let's do a skill level of some kind. We'll say enum level. We'll have beginner, intermediate, advanced, and expert levels. So just like the directions enum example I had a moment ago, this is a numeric enum. It will default to a beginner value of 0, intermediate 1, advanced 2, expert 3, right? Because once again, it starts at 0 and it will auto increment by 1 for each member. But if you don't want to start at 0, for those of us that have any JavaScript experience know that 0 can not exactly be friendly inside of if statements, or rather it will cause you to always have to check for that 0 value since they're considered falsy in JavaScript, even though it's a number of some kind, unless you're talking about the string 0. We know that the 0 number can be problematic in our if statements or conditionals if we are not careful or catch that edge case. So let's say we had no interest whatsoever to actually start at the 0th value. We can still take the time to assign our own number values to these constants. That way this goes 1 through 4 and not 0 through 3. That way we have more control over our numeric constants. So here I can also have a variable that I can not just have to say this is a specific enum, I can say it's from my enum type, and I will say it will have a level of, this is an intermediate concept, this is a level.intermediate, and it understands that the my level is of the level type. So if I then write my level and I console logged it, for example, it should log the level intermediate, which is the value of 2. So right there, we can use our enum level type to say this variable will be this level, and eventually a user could go up or down depending on what our program or code or whatever happens to do. So that's a really useful way to do it, to not just say, hey, this has to be intermediate all the time. It says, hey, it can be a constant from this set, aka the level set type right here of the enums, right? So that's an example of what you could do with assigning your own values and using the enum type itself for casting a variable. So that way you know it could be one of beginner, intermediate, advanced, or expert and nothing else. So that helps us right there, right? Now, what's interesting about numeric enums is they offer the benefit of reverse mapping. That means we can access the enum member name from its numeric value. So if I have a level enum, I could actually map it and say, give me the advanced map right there, and level 3, now that the error is gone from TypeScript, if we console log this, the output would indeed be advanced. That would be the output, right? The reverse mapping feature is exclusive to numeric enums, so keep that in mind. Reverse mapping, numeric enums only. It's not available with string enums. So numeric enums give us that flexibility to work with numeric constants and also help us improving the readability of our code. Like I had said, the reverse mapping feature of level 3 giving us advanced, that is a numeric enum thing and feature only, not one found in string enums, which leads me to the next topic, string enums. They are a variant of enums where each member is a string or a string literal. This can be beneficial when we want to provide a meaningful and readable value for our enums, independent of the member names themselves, aka, again, a collection of actions in Redux, which shirts our channel. I have a couple videos on Redux, and it's also on my React course if you want to learn how to write Redux code in React. Right, so let's go back to our D&D theme from previous videos. I'll say enum alignment, and I'm not going to do all of them. I'll simply write the following. We have our good, we have our neutral alignment, and we have our evil alignment. So there is an example of the string enum. There is no auto-incrementing here because it doesn't know how to auto-assign values. So unlike the shorthand we had available in numeric enums, there is no shorthand for string enums. We have to simply write each value ourselves, right? Explicitly assigned a string value is what I mean to say. And the actual value that gets used in working with the enums is the string values that we're storing here, right? So just like before, we could do something like this. Let character alignment be of type alignment enum. And let's say today we're going to be a good guy right there. So if I did console log, if I had that available here, char alignment, alignment good would put out the string value of good. But again, writing the string value of good across our code base more than once opens us up to typos. There's no autocomplete help. There's no IntelliSense autocomplete of the string value of good. Typos are rampant, right? But instead of referencing that, the string value good, we reference the symbol for it, alignment.good, and we get tons of TypeScript help, support, and all that fun kind of stuff right here, right? So, like I said, in this case, we said character alignment or char alignment is the type alignment. We've casted that, and it has the value string good, which corresponds to the alignment.good enum member. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. So like I said, string enums don't have auto increment. They also lack the reverse mapping feature. I could not try and remap to say, hey, give me the alignment map of good. It won't know how to output the reverse of that. So it will raise an error if we try and do that, right? So utilizing string enums can make your code more expressive and easier to debug since the value themselves carry meaning. So I'm running out of time in my own personal scope here. Again, I don't want to keep these short and digestible. How about a simple example of where this could come in handy? A lot of our students coming into our full stack development course that have no coding experience get hit with their first major lab, the tic-tac-toe game. Let's code a simple version of a simpler game such as rock, paper, scissors. So I can have an enum that corresponds to each possible move. And again, you don't have to do capital string values like this, but you'll see that quite regularly in these kinds of situations where you have, I can spell scissors, right? That looks wrong though, but I think that's correct. Where you have these capital string values that do represent constants throughout your code. And again, we're going to assign them to these symbols inside of this enum, and we're going to actually use it in a game function here to say, hey, I want to play a game where player 1 is going to be using an enum from from a particular constant from my enum type move. Player 2 will also make a move. And voila, we've now utilized the enum type to our advantage here in some function parameters. We're going to say if player 1 equals player 2, then we clearly have, or we're going to return, since I can't console log, tie, because that's what happened in that case. Otherwise, we're going to say switch around player 1. And in the case that they have, move, and check this out. Here's where it really kicks it up a notch. Move.rock, we are going to return player 2, if they play the move of scissors, for example, right? Then we're going to say player 1 wins. Otherwise, player 2 wins, right? So that's basically what we would do across this entire thing for paper and scissors, right? So I can copy this case here. Probably should leave a default case. Fix it, and we have move.paper and move.scissors. If the player 2 plays rock, that means player 1 wins with paper, otherwise player 2 wins. If the player 1 plays scissors and then the player 2 plays paper, that means scissors beats paper, otherwise player 2 has beat us, and voila, we have our lovely little game here, right? So now I could, if I had a console, I should put this in the browser or something so we can actually take a look at it, or I can just run the file here. I don't know why I'm doing it this way, but we can say move.rock and move.scissors, for example. If I can learn to type. There we go. So there's our two move types. The parameters now match what they're expecting because I said it can be one of the constants of the enum move set. So I pass it rock and scissors. That way player 1 would be rock, player 2 is passed scissors, which means rock has smashed the scissors, and this would output that player 1 has won, right? And it even tells us in TypeScript there's 3 possible outcomes: tie, player 1 wins, or player 2 wins. So yeah, that's how you would do it, and this output should be player 1 wins with no exclamation point. It'd be this value right here. But that's how an enum can really ratchet up our code in a positive manner by having this collection of symbols that correspond to these values that allow us to, well, again, make this game scale. If we now add like more to rock, paper, scissors, parchment, shears, boulder, parchment, shears, I think is what it's called in Critical Role. If we added more possible winning scenarios and things like that, it'd be easy to add it to our enum set, add a switch case to it, and have everything TypeScript supported, readable, maintainable, all that stuff in my hashtag meme in these videos, right? We use these enum values in the play game function, not only in their parameters, but in the logic, in the switch statement, and in the calls for how the game is going to be played. Users can be clicking buttons on a screen, talk through WebSockets or something like that, and the functions in the back end could run this enum to make sure the game is played consistently across all of our browser instances of people playing together, right? So it's a simple example, but it illustrates how enums can be used to enforce a certain set of values and improve readability, right? So that is the magic of the enum with a short example. That brings us to the end of part 1 in our exploration into enums and TypeScript. I started off with the total basics and the syntax of it, shedding light on their ability to define a set of named constants. From there, we discovered the power of numeric enums. We saw they have an auto increment feature, and they had the benefit of reverse mapping. And then lastly, I talked about string enums, their lack of auto increment and reverse mapping feature, but they do provide explicit and meaningful values, making your code more expressive and easier to debug. Believe me, it does. So understanding and effectively using enums, whether they're numeric or string types, will equip you with a valuable tool in your TypeScript tool belt, right? Watch for the next video, because in the next video we're going to cover some cool concepts, including heterogeneous enums, enums at runtime, compile time, const enums, and their best practices and use cases. So keep in mind, there's going to be a part 2 that will go from this video and move on with the subject of enums, because I wanted to cover more, but not in a super long video. So hopefully this helped demystify the basics of enums for you. If you liked it, please show your support by giving us a thumbs up and share your own adventures, your own use cases and code pens using enums in the comments. If you haven't joined our party, then consider subscribing to our channel to stay up to date with the TypeScript Tips series, as well as all the other cool stuff we put out on this channel. So, as always, thank you all for watching, and until our next adventure, happy coding.